I've created all of my own recipes that just require less chopping, less preparation. It's just kind of minimal fuss, really.
Here are the ingredients you'll need to make Mexican lasagna.
For this, I'm going to use 500 grams of lean mince, and I'm going to bake it in a tray. So this is just going to go straight in the oven. There's no pans, there's no browning of onions, there's no nothing. Honestly, you don't need to do it. So I'm just going to put the mince into the tray. You can put it in raw. And to the mince, I'm going to add, it's about a third of a ring of chorizo sausage, and I've just chopped that up, so that goes into the pan as well. To that, I'm going to add a tin of chopped tomatoes. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you how easy this recipe is. A tin of kidney beans, and then we're going to add our spices. So for this, I mean, you can go to town, you can add whatever you like, but this is what I tend to add. So the good old staple, I pretty much use it in every recipe, a teaspoon of oregano, or oregano, as some people would like to correct me, but I say oregano, and a teaspoon of chopped garlic. Now this is a fantastic time saver, and it's dried garlic, so again it saves you chopping, but gives you a really good flavour. A teaspoon of smoked paprika. Now I know some of you are going to like to have more paprika than that, so feel free to add some more, not a problem at all. And I'm going to be bold here. I'm going to add probably about half a teaspoon of very lazy chopped chilli. I'm going to also add just a splash of Worcester sauce. And then I'm going to add just some salt and pepper. And then simply about a third of a cup of water. That's all you need. About a third of a cup of water. Just going to give that a slight mix around. Just keep it all in the tray. Honestly, I know it doesn't look much at the moment, but when this is baked, it's going to taste delicious. And that is the meat prepped. And I'm going to put that in the oven now for about 30 minutes uncovered. Just keep an eye on it. You might need to add a little bit more water if it dries out. 30 minutes on about 180 to 200 depending on your oven, and that'll be the meat ready. I'm just going to put that to one side while we make the sauce. Now there's no bechamel sauce here, there's no spending time on the stove trying to make a cheese sauce. This is my cheats version. I'm going to start with a small tub of cottage cheese. I'm just going to put that into a bowl, and this is a great alternative, and with this Mexican lasagna it adds a lovely kind of sour note as well, so that the dish doesn't become too rich. And then to that I'm going to add a small tub of half fat creme fraiche. Now again, please don't kind of panic, okay? It is half fat creme fraiche, and if you like, you can experiment with zero fat Greek yogurt, but I say just live a little. So just going to mix that round. Now it will be quite thick to start with, so what you can do just to make it more of a sauce-like texture is just add just a little drop of milk. I promise you this makes a great white sauce, and so much better than opening a jar, because it's all ingredients that you know. So mix that round and then season. I'm just going to season just with some salt and pepper. You don't need too much, but just season it to your taste. And that's your white sauce done. It's done right there. Okay, so just going to put that to one side. And we're going to make the Mexican lasagna. We're just going to use a normal oven-proof dish. I like to use a round one just because for this recipe, instead of pasta, we're going to be using flour tortillas, and they just sit much better in a round dish. So I'm going to start by cutting the tortillas into quarters just to make it easier to layer up. And I'm going to bring my sauce back. So I'm ready with my white sauce, my meat and my flour tortillas. I'm going to begin to build the lasagna dish. I'm just going to start with a tiny splash of olive oil, and I'm just going to coat the dish just so that the tortillas don't stick when you bake. And just a tiny, tiny splash. And then begin layering up using your flour tortillas, and you see how great they fit into the dish. And actually it doesn't really matter if you want to rip them to fit them in, it's absolutely fine. And then a spoonful of the meat mixture, and it smells really, really good. Don't be too worried about covering the whole layer, because it all kind of ends up gelling together perfectly well when you cook it. So this is literally going to take you 2 or 3 minutes max, and you're just going to carry on building. And so I've finished layering up the lasagna, and actually only used about 4 or 5 wraps in that particular recipe. And so finally I'm just going to top the dish with the white sauce. And if you think about it, if you have fajitas or tacos, a Mexican dish, you always eat them with sour cream, so this Mexican lasagna shouldn't be any different. So just spread the sauce out, and you can just imagine that this is going to be oozy, unctuous, delicious when you're finished. And then for the final flourish, we're going to top it with some nachos. And I'm just going to take a handful of nachos, and I just want you to crush them in your hand slightly and just place them on the top. And then finally just top with some grated cheese. Now I like to use a lot of cheese. I'm not going to apologise for that. And that's it. That is done. So I'm just going to put this into the oven for half an hour and see what it's like when it comes out.